go ahead and get started here. So to start, we'll start with our meditation. You can find a nice comfortable seat. That could be sitting on the floor if you need a block or a book or a pillow to prop up your hips. The goal here is to be as comfortable as we can with the least amount of fidgeting. From here, we want to line up the spine, so a nice tall spine, tucking your chin back slightly. And then placing your hands where they're most comfortable, maybe palms down on your knees or palms up, or one hand inside the other in your lap. From here, go ahead and softly close your eyes. And then we'll go ahead and take a mental scan of the physical body. Noticing areas where you feel tension, maybe heaviness, rapid heart rate. Noticing those areas of tension and trying your best to let it go. Checking with your breath. Is your breath coming out of your chest, short and shallow, or out of the depths of your belly, deep and long? Not changing it, just noticing. From here, we'll take a few deep breaths in through our nose, exhale, sigh out our mouth. With our inhale, think about it coming from the depths of your pelvis, filling your stomach up like a hot air balloon, out the sides, out the front, out the back, letting the air travel up through the rib cage and chest. And then an open mouth sigh, let it all out, let it go back down. So exhale out all the stale air in your lungs. And then take a nice deep inhale. Open mouth sigh. 2 more just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And we'll go through a few rounds of controlled breath. If at any point the control is too much, let it go and just come back to your natural breath. We're going to inhale for 4, exhale for 4, take a cleansing breath in and out, and then repeat another cycle. So again, exhaling all the air out of your lungs. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Releasing the controlled breath. Come back to your natural breathing. We'll spend just a few moments in silence. Anytime you notice your thoughts wandering, you hear a noise or the birds outside, acknowledge that, and then try your best to just place it off to the side. Bringing your awareness back to the present moment, back to your breath. Keeping your eyes closed, take a full breath in through your nose. Open mouth, sigh. Take another mental scan of your physical body and notice if any of the areas that you felt tension before, if they have lightened or lifted. And before we move on to our yoga practice, we bring the word trust into our awareness. As we go on and off the mat today, where can you trust yourself more? Where can you trust yourself more? Where can you trust those around you more? trust those around you a bit more? And on a spiritual level, how can you trust higher beings more, whether that be God or whatever else it is that you believe in? We bring our trust now back to the mat, trusting ourselves for those that are trying something new today. Trusting ourselves to try a new movement. And just allow ourselves to be present on the mat. When you're ready, you can softly open your eyes. If you have any sort of block or book underneath your hips, you can remove that. And then we'll place our hands in front of us and make our way to tabletop. We'll go through a few rounds of our cat and cow. So inhaling as you tilt the pelvis down and look up. Exhale, round through the spine, pull your belly button in, drop your head. Inhale. And exhale. Going through a few rounds there with your own breath. Finish up one more and then come back to a neutral spine. And then from there we'll send your right foot back, straightening the leg, left arm forward. Inhale and lift the right leg off the floor as you extend the limbs away from each other. Exhale, bring the limbs to touch. Inhale, sweep them back out. Exhale, limbs to touch. Inhale, sweep it out. Exhale, limbs to touch. 3 more just like that, controlling with your breath. And actively pushing through that right stationary hand so that we're not falling into our shoulder. After your third round, you can place the limbs back down. And then step the ball of your left foot back to the edge of the mat. Right arm reaches forward. Inhale, lift the left leg and extend the limbs. Exhale to touch. Inhale, sweep it out. Exhale to touch. Inhale, sweep it out. Exhale to touch. 3 more just like that. After your third rep, you can bring both limbs down. From here, we're going to push back into child's pose. Big toes touch, knees wide to the edges of the mat. Arms can reach forward, and we're going to focus a little more on one side over the other. So we're going to press the left armpit down towards the mat, intensifying the stretch on the left. You can open up the right shoulder even more to your right, intensifying that left side. And then come back to neutral, press your right shoulder towards the floor, opening up towards the left. come back to neutral. We'll bring ourselves back forward to tabletop. And then we'll go through a few rounds of thread the needle. Placing your right hand just a little bit more in the center of your body. And then we'll inhale, sweep the left arm up. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, sweep the arm up. And exhale, thread it through. We'll hold here. You can place your right hand up ahead in front of you. You could place it back behind your left hip and open up. Or you could just have it resting in front where we started. Couple deep breaths here. One more inhale and exhale. And then if your hand is at your hip or out in front, bring it back in front of your face. And we'll inhale, sweep the left arm up one more time. And then exhale, bring that hand more to the center of your mat. Take your right arm, sweep it up as you inhale. And exhale, thread it through. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. And exhale, thread it through and hold. Placing your left hand wherever feels best, either reaching in front of your mat or hooking in your right hip, opening up the left shoulder, or keeping it in front of your face. One more inhale and exhale. And then if your hand is at your hip or in front, bring it back in front of your hip face. Inhale, sweep the arm up one more time. And then exhale, lower back down. We'll place our hands just a hand's distance in front. Tuck under the toes and push back into downward facing dog. Cycling out your feet. Spreading your fingertips wide, fully pressing the hands into the mat. Take a few deep breaths here. Do whatever feels good. Maybe you shake your hips side to side. Shake your head yes and no. And then on your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, look up, and step to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift, find length. Exhale, fold. Start to walk your hands over to the right. Maybe grabbing onto your right shin, intensifying the stretch. Bend your knees as much as you need. Take another inhale here, and then exhale, hands over to the left, either on the floor or on your shin. One more inhale here, and then exhale, hands back to center. From here, root down through your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll go through a few rounds of our Sun A. So inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold, step it back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga halfway, either on or off the knees. We'll inhale up to cobra this first time. And then exhale, push it back to downward facing dog. For anyone who hasn't joined us yet in this series, if at any point you need to come down to your knees, do so. The goal of yoga is to stay with your breath. If your breath is getting out of control or it's getting to be too much, always an option to come to your knees. One more inhale and exhale here. And then bend the knees deeply. Step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more just like that. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, step or float back to plank. Lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Holding for about 5 breaths. On your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, find length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last one here. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold, step or float to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, holding for 5 deep breaths. On your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, look between your hands, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. We'll move on to a modified sun B. So from here, bring your big toes to touch. Heels can be a little bit wider if needed. We'll bend the knees deeply. Inhale, sweep the arms up, chair pose. Bring the hands to heart center. Take a nice deep inhale and get tall. Exhale, hook the left elbow over the right knee. Chair pose with a twist. Gaze can either be off the fingertips, off the tip of your nose, or down at your toes if there's any issues with the neck. Inhale, release the bind. Come back to center. Take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale, hook the right elbow over the left knee. Twist to the left. Again, gaze can be off the extension of the nose or down at the toes. Inhale back to center. And then exhale the hands down, step or float to plank. Lower down, halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, step it through between your hands. Pivot your back foot down 45 degrees. Root down, rise up to warrior one. Squaring off your shoulders to the front of the room. Active through that back left leg. That back foot is fully pressing into the floor, not peeling off. And we'll exhale and open up to warrior two. Back foot is now parallel to the short end of the mat. your next inhale, reach the fingertips as far forward as you can. And then when you can't reach any further, you can bring the forearm to the knee or down to the floor. Sweep the left arm down and around. Extended side angle pose. If you want to add a little bit to this pose today, you can bring your bottom right hand behind you and clasp the hands back around. Or you can bring the top hand just to that left hip or right hip and keep opening up. From here, release the bind. We'll bring the left hand down towards the side of the mat. Start to bring your hands to the middle of your mat and walk your right foot to also be parallel to the short end of the mat. You can widen your feet a little more here if needed. And then we'll go through a few rounds of lunge, walking your hands over to the side. You can tilt the toes up of the straight leg. Move with your breath. Inhale over to the other side. Exhale it down. Inhale over and exhale. And just working with your breath here. Finish up one more each side. And then we'll come back to neutral. We'll go ahead and place your left hand in the center of your mat. If you're not able to reach, you could grab, again, that block or book. And then from here, we're going to inhale the right arm up, opening up with a twist and that wide-legged fold. You could, again, bring the hand to the opposite hip to intensify the twist. Gaze is either up at the fingertips or down at your stationary hand, if that's easier on the neck. And then exhale, bring it down. Place the right hand in the middle, and then inhale and sweep your left arm up overhead, or twist at the right hip. One more inhale and exhale. And then bring your left hand down to meet the right. And then we'll set up for a wide-legged forward fold. So from here, we'll inhale, find length in that fold. Exhale, fold down. Hands can either be right where they are, or you can start to walk them back to the edge of the mat. Active through the legs here. All four corners of your feet fully pressing down so that we're not peeling off the toes. One more inhale and exhale. And then inhale, find length through your spine. Exhale, we'll tilt the right toes back to the front of our mat. From here, step your left foot forward to meet the right. Forward fold. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll go through again and switch sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Step or float back to plank. Option here to just push back to down dog or to take your vinyasa and meet in down dog. From here, take your left foot and raise it up to the sky. Exhale, bring the foot between your hands. Lower your right foot down 45 degrees. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Squaring off your shoulders to the front of the room. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Back foot is now parallel to the short end of the mat. Gaze off your front fingertips. Your next inhale, reach the fingertips as far forward as you can. When you can't any further, bring the forearms to the thigh or down to the floor. Right arm sweeps down and forward. Extended side angle pose. Option to hook the hands behind or to bring just the right hand to the opposite left hip. Gaze off the extension of the nose or down at your left big toes. One more inhale and exhale, and then bring your right hand down to the side of the mat. We'll walk our hands to the side of the mat and rotate your left foot so it is also parallel to the short end of the mat. Again, going through a few rounds of that yogi lunge, tilting the foot up of that straight leg. Inhale over to the other side, and exhale, moving with your breath. Finish up one more each side. And then when you're ready, come back to neutral here in our wide-legged fold. Again, we'll place your left hand into the center of the mat. Inhale, sweep the right arm up for a wide-legged fold twist. Hand can either be straight up overhead or you can hook it to the left hip. Gaze off the extension of the nose or down at your left fingertips. One more inhale and exhale. And then sweep the arm back up, bring it down to meet the left, right hand in the center of the mat. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Option to stay overhead or to bring it to the opposite right hip. One more inhale and exhale here. And then exhale the hand back down, setting up for wide-legged forward fold. We'll inhale and find length through the spine. Exhale, fold. Option to bring the hands back towards the back of the mat. Fully pressing down through all four corners of your feet. Relax your jaw here as well. If your hands are back behind, bring them back in front. We'll again inhale, find length through our spine. As you exhale, start to turn yourself back to the front of the mat. Step your right foot up to meet the left. Forward fold. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, we'll move on to some standing balancing. So we'll start with our weight in our right foot. Bring the ball of your left foot either to your left shin, bring the foot fully on the shin, or you can assist it up into your thigh. Finding the right position there. Hands can either be palms forward out to the side for help with balance, or at your hips, or at heart center. Gaze either just down in front of you slightly, forward, overhead, or you could close the eyes to test the balance. See if you can soften your face here. Maybe even smile as you balance. And bringing our theme back into our class, trusting yourself. That even if you come out of the pose, if you lose your balance, you can keep trying. Keeping your leg externally rotated, we'll then just bring it up above the knee, setting it for half bound lotus. Hands are now at heart center if they're not there already. And then we'll start to inhale and sit the hips back. Option for hands to come to the floor if it's accessible and nearby for you. Keep reaching your hips up and back. And keep checking in with the face, staying soft here. On your next inhale, slowly come up. Keeping the leg off the floor, we'll just take it off and bend the knee back behind us. Take your left hand, palm facing up, reach inside and grab the top of the left foot. Right arm's gonna reach up overhead, bracing through your core. We'll inhale and find length. And then as you start to exhale, start to hinge forward into dancer's pose. Your hinge may be very slight. It could be just staying up overhead if the balance is not there this morning. Or you could start to really press that left foot up and back as you hinge forward into dancer. Inhale, bring everything back up overhead. And then exhale, release the foot and shake it out. Nice job. We'll do the same series on the left side. So planting your left foot down, either kickstanding your right foot into the shin, placing it fully on the shin, or bringing the shin up into your thigh. Same position options with your hands, or same thing with your gaze, down, forward, up, or eyes closed. One more inhale and exhale. And then keeping the leg externally rotated, we'll bring the shin above the knee. Setting up for half bound lotus, hands still at heart center. And then reaching your hips back. Gaze off the extension of the nose. Again, option to bring hands to the floor if it's nearby and accessible to you. Keep softening the face. Relaxing the shoulders down away from your ears. One more inhale and exhale. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Keeping the leg off the floor, we'll bend the knee back behind us. Take your right hand palm side up, reach it back behind, inside the leg, grabbing the top of the right foot. Left arm reaches up overhead as you inhale, and then as you exhale, stay there or start to press the right foot up towards the ceiling, pressing up into your hand as you start to hinge forward for dancer. Your next inhale, start to come up. And then exhale, release, shaking that leg out. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length of your spine. Exhale, step or float back to plank. Option to meet in downward facing dog or take your vinyasa. From here, we'll make our way to seated. You can either bend the knees deeply, step and float through, or jump and float through, or you can step one shin in front, cross the other leg in, and make your way to seated. We'll extend the legs in front, flexing your feet back towards you, taking your right sole of the right foot into the left thigh. We'll set up for a seated forward fold. Squaring off your shoulders towards your left foot, inhale, sweep the arms up, and then gaze or exhale forward, gaze off of the extension of the nose. With each inhale, try to find length. With each exhale, lead with your chest as you hinge forward instead of rounding through the shoulders. One more inhale and exhale. And then release and switch. Right leg extended long, sole of the left foot to the right thigh. Square off your shoulders to your right foot. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. With each inhale, find length. With each exhale, lead with your heart forward. One more inhale and exhale. And then release. Next, we'll set up for Purvottanasana. So with this pose, you can either have the legs extended, that will be a little bit harder, or you can create more of a reverse tabletop position. We're going to take our fingertips and face the fingertips forward towards the front of your mat, and they're just about half a hand's distance behind you. From here, feet are either flat on the floor, and then we're lifting the hips up, stretching through the front of the shoulders, or legs are extended, pointing the big toes and lifting the hips here. Finding the best option for you as you lift the hips. Relaxing your jaw, you can let your head release, or if that's too much, you can tuck the chin forward. Keep lifting those hips, 2 more breaths. Last breath, and then slowly lower back down. From here, we'll set up for Navasana, boat pose. So with this, feet can either stay on the floor as you hinge back, lifting with your chest, or you can bring the feet off the floor, keeping the knees bent, or you can extend and point the toes. We're gonna hold there for 5 deep breaths, so finding the best option for you. Go ahead and find your pose. We'll inhale for 1. And exhale, 4 more. One more inhale and exhale. And then cross the legs. Bring yourself forward, we'll push it back. Either going back to downward facing dog, or again, taking another vinyasa. From downward facing dog, we'll slowly come forward to plank. And we're gonna do a 10-second lower here. So slowly bring yourself down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering all the way down from here. You can bring your left cheek to the mat, release your arms back behind you. Just take a few deep breaths here. And then bring your feet together to touch tops of the feet down on the mat. We'll clasp the hands behind us. Reach the arms away from your body as you inhale and lift the feet, lift the chest, pressing your pubic bone down. Neck is neutral, gaze off the extension of the nose. Another pose where we tend to really tense, so see if you can keep the face soft. See if you can smile. 2 more inhales and exhales. On your second exhale, lower down, right cheek to the mat. Let your arms release. From here, we'll bend both the knees, keeping the legs still fairly close together. The tendency is to let the knees flare out, and then we'll grab the outer edges of the feet, the tops of the feet, and then still keeping a neutral neck, pressing your pubic bone down as you inhale and lift the feet, lift the chest. 3 more deep breaths. See if you can lift a little higher. One more deep breath. And then release. Lower down, left cheek to the mat. From here, we'll bring the hands back to our cobra position. We'll press up to upward facing dog. And then lower back to child's pose. From here, we'll push back to downward facing dog. Option to take 1 more vinyasa or just to meet in down dog. From down dog, we'll again make our way to seated, either stepping forward or hopping to seated. And then we'll lower ourselves all the way down onto our back, 1 vertebrae at a time. And we'll set up for our bridge pose. Feet can be about hip distance apart, close enough so that you can brush the backs of your heels with your fingertips. And then from here, we'll slowly lift the hips up. Option to intensify by walking your shoulders underneath, clasping the hands underneath your hips. Neck stays neutral, don't look left or right. And we'll hold for a few deep breaths. Check in with your knees, they tend to flare out. Imagine you have a block between your knees. If you have one, put it there and press the knees into that block. One more inhale and exhale. And then slowly lower yourself all the way down. And then from here, we'll bring the knees into the chest, give them a good hug. Rocking side to side over that low back. We'll bring the arms out like a T. Lower your legs all the way to your right. Square up your knees, square up your hips. Use your right hand to place on top of that left leg and keep the legs in alignment. From here, we can then start to reach the left arm over to the side. Some of you may be off the floor like me. Some may be able to maintain this position but have their arm down. But keep those knees square. Gaze can look off to the left. 2 more deep breaths here. And then exhale, legs back into center. And lower the legs all the way over to the left, squaring up the knees, squaring up the hips first, and then start to reach the right arm over to the right, gaze off to the right. Left hand can keep the right leg down. Two more deep breaths. After your second breath, bring the knees back to center. Give them another hug. And then we'll set up for happy baby. Grabbing the outer edges of the feet, pressing your pubic bone down, and then start to pull the feet back towards you. Option to stay here or to rock side to side, maybe extend and bend the legs, doing whatever feels best. And then we'll release the feet. We'll bring your left foot down, cross the right leg over. Option to stay here in half pigeon, pushing the right knee away. Otherwise, if you're able, we can frame the left leg, grab the back of the hamstring or the shin and pull it in. Two more deep breaths here. And then release. Before switching sides, we'll go into heart opener pose, bringing the soles of your feet together. Hands can come one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. One more inhale and exhale. And then bring the knees back together. Place your right foot down. Externally rotate the left leg above the right leg. From here, you can either stay and push the left knee away, or you can frame the right leg, clasping behind the shin or the hamstring for half pigeon. Two more deep breaths here. And then release the legs. Option here to take any last poses And then when you're ready, we can meet in Shavasana, our final resting pose. When in Shavasana, try to take up as much room on your mat as you can. Legs extending long and wide. Arms, palms up. From here, softly closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Relaxing the space between your eyebrows. Eyelids just softly closed. Eyeballs heavy in their sockets. Teeth unclenched, tongue off the roof of the mouth. Head lying heavy into the mat. Shoulders melting down and away from the ears. Arms and fingers heavy into the mat. Hips heavy into the mat. Quads relaxed and melting down. Calves heavy. Feet heavy. Keeping your eyes closed, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Making bigger motions with your ankles and wrists. Reaching your arms up overhead, full body stretch. And when you're ready, making your way over to one side. And when you're ready, making your way up to a seated position.